Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the almost weekly web series where we find and test the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, get ready for a mug cake madness. Get ready for a mug cake melee. Melee? Today, get ready for mug cake battle. Stay tuned. All right, folks. Mug cakes. I have a love-hate relationship with them. I love to eat them, and I hate to count the calories on them because that's my problem. To be very honest with you, mug cakes are a trigger for me because it is a sweet. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and it's going to be something that's probably going to upset some of you and maybe make a few of you mad. And this is just my personal opinion. I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I am not a nutritionist. I'm just a guy with the internet and a video camera. But I think that for the first at least 2 weeks of a low carb or keto diet, mug cakes should be off limits. Right? That's scary to even talk about. But the fact of the matter is that those first 2 weeks of the keto flu or the low carb flu or the Whole30 flu or whatever low carb program you're on, those are the days where you're actually making a change in your physiology, but more importantly in your psychology. Mug cakes are fantastic for two main reasons. One, they're easy to make and they're fast and you don't have to make an entire loaf. And two, because of that, they really help control portion size. It is automatic portion control. But for me personally, they are a really big trigger. So it is with a little bit of trepidation that I shoot this video. This has been one of the literally singular most requested videos on my channel, is to do a mug cake battle. So I'm going to do it for you. We're trying 4 recipes today, and these are some heavy hitters amongst the low-carb keto universe. These are some of the biggest names in recipe development currently going on right now. So you know they're all going to be good. So there's not going to be like a first place, second place, third place, fourth place in this, I don't think. I'll just start by saying that one of these is my favorite, and this is something that I make semi-regularly, maybe once a week, maybe every other week. And the others are things that I've wanted to try. The first of those is the Low Carb Delicious Mug Cake by Keto Connect. They did a little battle, Mega and Matt, and you know I love them, and their recipes are fantastic, and they're about to put out a cookbook too, so stay tuned for that. But they really are really good at recipe development. And they did a nutritious version and a delicious version, and we're doing the delicious version, I think was Mega's. So that's just like almost like a vanilla cake, okay? So we're gonna do that. Second one is the one that I eat regularly. If I am craving something sweet, I have been known to whip this up and just devour it, and it is dangerously good. And that is the Chocolate Brownie Low Carb Mug Cake by I Breathe I'm Hungry. And we're going to try that. I know it's good, so that's in the running. Third one is one I've really wanted to try because it's probably my favorite cake ever. So today, Keto Diet App has done a red velvet mug cake, and we're going to do that. It's going to be good, I bet. And then lastly is the low carb carrot mug cake by Sugar Free Mom. Again, another massive heavy hitter in the low carb keto recipe development universe going on right now. So those are the 4 we're going to try. I'm going to stop talking now because apparently some of you don't like when I just ramble and look at the camera. So here we go, starting with low carb delicious mug cake by Keto Connect. I am using Sucrin 1, and they have 2 products that I'm in love with. It's the Sucrin Gold and the Sucrin 1, and one of them is a brown sugar substitute and one of them is a granulated sugar substitute. They both measure 1 for 1 with cooking, so it makes it super easy. The Sucrin Gold, that brown sugar stuff, is freaking heaven, man, I'll be honest with you. And if you refer back to my blood sugar testing video where I tested my blood sugar, fasting blood sugar with a lot of different alternative sweeteners, the Sucrin Gold was one of the best ones. I'm gonna link to that video up here. I think it's actually over here. I'll link to that now, so if you want to take a look at it afterwards. Okay, and now we're going to add the sour cream. is 1.5 tablespoons. And you know, here's the thing about mug cakes. Yes, they are easy to make, and they automatically help with portion control. The other issue is it takes just as much ingredients. You still got to haul out the sugar, the flour, the eggs, the butter, the sour cream, the sweetener, the blah, 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 blah. You still got to haul all that mess out, but instead of using a cup of each, you're using about a tablespoon of each. So it's just as much work to just like, you know, prep all this mess, but the end result is that you're not left with an entire cake for Wesley to eat on the entire night and wake up in the middle of the night and eat it. I'll be honest with you, that's a struggle for me. And that's okay to say. I hope that's okay to say, because it's true. Just because we're eating keto and low carb doesn't mean we're not humans and eat for a lot of reasons. Stress, anxiety, depression, happiness, celebration, all of that. It's still real. Anyway. In mug cake fashion, these go in a mug. So, but I actually bought a couple of cute little ramekins that are mug shaped and fit in the microwave, and these were at Target, and they're super cute, and they match my shirt. So what we're gonna do is a little bit of coconut oil spray. Hit this good, you do not want this to stick. Divide this evenly among our mugs, and then we microwave them. So hold tight. We're back. Okay, so these go in, see it's not full, really full. I mean, it's rather not full. These go in for 90 seconds, and I love these little mugs because they have a little handle for me. So 90 seconds, we'll be back. All right, now while this is in the microwave cooking, I just want to cover the stats on this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have always said it and I still believe it. I do not trust the macros that are on YouTube videos or on websites. I run them myself because a lot of people apparently do not know what the hell they're talking about. And a lot of people do, and I'm not saying that this is the case with this. But here are the stats as they are printed. If this turns out to be different after I run the numbers, I'm going to put it up here and you'll see it on the screen. But as it stands, one of these mug cakes has 37 grams of fat, 7 grams of carbs, and 2 grams of fiber. So that's a 5 net carbs per little cake and 12 grams of protein. Now, I'm going to also say that all of the recipes that we're making today, I am not including any kind of frosting with them. Frosting, personally, even though it's low carb and can be delicious and is easy to make, is a massive, massive trigger for me. I just can't do it. It leads to a lot of heartache and upset. So today, for the purposes of these demonstrations, I'm going to be giving the cake part of this, the review. Let's see what's happened. Okay, so this little guy is out of the oven. He's cute. Look at him, how little tiny he is. And this is where a lot of people just serve these in the mug, and I guess that's okay, but for fancy's sake, I dump them out onto a plate. Sometimes add a little powdered erythritol if I wanted powdered sugar, or I use the heavy whipping cream like we just talked about. So for this demonstration, I'm going to put my top on top and flip this booger over and plate it. Boop! Look how pretty. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, and this is the way I like to plate them. Now, this one didn't rise a whole lot, and some of them rise more than others, and it really depends on the diameter or the diameter of the cake, the mug that you're using. So this is beautiful. It's like just a white vanilla cake. Let me turn it sideways. I don't know that you can see the height on that. It's not, you know, massive, but she's pretty. And she smells really good and vanilla-y. And I've made this one before, and I know that it is good, and that's why I included it in this. So I'm going to set it aside for now. We're going to come back at the end of all 4 of these, and I'm going to taste them all and just let you know what I think about them. So stay tuned. We're starting number 2. All right, guys, now we're ready for recipe number 2, and this is the one that I said that is sort of my favorite. This is from I Breathe, I'm Hungry, and it's the chocolate brownie low-carb mug cake. And I like it because it's super low in net carbs. It's actually 3 net carbs without the whipped cream we're going to add, so that's pretty low. And there aren't too many ingredients, and it's fast and it's easy, and I like chocolate. So let's get started. Okay, now to this, this is something that I rarely add, but I did have it this time, and it works just as well without. It has optional Lindt chocolate, 90% chocolate squares, 1 square, and some pecans. I'm not a big fan of nuts in cake like that, so I don't do the pecans. But this made it pretty good. It sort of tastes fudgy brownie, and this is Lindt 90% chocolate, and you just need 1 square of this. So I'm going to show you what we do. Now, oh my God, I cannot believe that Lindt would have sold this half full. How embarrassing for you, Lindt. I'm going to have to report that. Don't know where that could have gone. So let's take 1 square of this, boop, break it in half, boop, break it in half again. So that's a square of it. Let's chop that booger up, and these are going to go back in the package. I can't really believe that they would sell this so expensive and not even include all that was supposed to be in there. So let's just chop this roughly. Come at it with a knife. It's really pretty easy. Now, one thing I've wanted to try and haven't yet is to just take one of those little squares and to cut it in half and then just slip half of it into each one of the mugs that you're making, so it sort of might come up with a molten center, but I haven't been brave enough yet because, again, trigger. So, all right, so let's dump this into our batter. And here we go. Okay, so in it goes for 1 minute, an additional 30 seconds if need be. Again, it's not terribly full. You got to give it some space to rise. We'll be back. Okay, so here we are, we're back, and you should have seen this one. This thing was tall. It almost made it to the top of the ramekin, top of the mug. So let's again just dump this out. I'm gonna let it cool. So flip this. Ta-ta-ta-ta. Beautiful. That's so pretty. Okay, now again, flip it over. Those little pieces of chocolate, of the Lindt chocolate, really make a little surprise in there. I don't know if you can see it, but one of them is larger than the other. That doesn't mean anything. They're both probably delicious, but I just wanted you to see them. Again, we're going to put them on the back burner just for a few more minutes. Got 2 more to make. Stay tuned. Oh, we forgot to add the red food coloring. Oh my God. Into the microwave for 90 seconds. This is a lot more full than the other one was. If they overflow and you're watching the microwave and they start to rise above that, open the door just for a split second, let them fall back down, close the door, and continue with your cooking. You don't want them to spill out, but they may rise pretty heavily. One of these cakes is 10.9 carbs, 6.8 net carbs, which is kind of high. And this is without the frosting. 12.5 grams of protein, 34 grams of fat, and 387 calories. So the red velvet cake is one of the higher carb ones. 6.8 net carbs with no frosting and no whipped cream. That's, that's considerable when you're trying to stay under 20. If you're strict keto or doing, very low carb, high fat, 20 carbs is where we're trying to hit. And 7 of those are about to be eaten in the red velvet cake. So just be aware of that. Okie dokie, we're back. We've got a very large mug cake, and it looks, you can see it kind of jiggle wiggle. It looks precarious, but let's see what we've got. Ooh, that looks good. Okay. Just looking at it, first off, it's much more chocolate than red, as in red velvet, but I'm not going to hold that against it because the red has no flavor. Red velvet cake, the red provides no flavor at all. It's all chocolate and cake. So this is really tall and really big. Whew, it's hot too. And wow, that's pretty. All All right, I'm just gonna let this be. Look at how tall that booger is. That is seriously tall, y'all. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna put this to the side. We're gonna do our fourth one. We're gonna do our fourth one. Okay, I'm back. Our fourth recipe is the carrot cake recipe from Sugar-Free Mom. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I am about fed up with it. I'm always happy-go-lucky, but Mary and Joseph in the stable, this has taken way too long. What you don't see on these videos is that between recipes, I set up and wash the dishes and set them all back out and measure all my ingredients and put them all out mise en place, okay? That takes me about 7 or 8 minutes for each one of these mug cake recipes. This carrot cake recipe has taken me 35 minutes to set up and get this thing done for a number of reasons. So in other words, what I'm trying to tell you, unless this thing tastes like gold in a bowl, the Queen of England would have to be coming here to eat before I would do this again. All right, this recipe, Sugar-Free Mom, this better be good. And I love carrot cake, but damn. 2 eggs, 1/4 cup of heavy cream plus 2 tablespoons, 1/3 of a cup of grated carrots. So first of all, you can't eat carrots when you're on low carb. I mean, you can on low carb or keto, but nobody buys a pound of carrots. So I had to buy a whole pound of carrots just to get 1/3 of a cup pea. So there's $4. And then, which I may eat later, and then 1/4 cup of ground flaxseed. Well, guess what? I couldn't find ground flaxseed, so I bought whole flaxseed. Well, I tried a coffee grinder, I tried a mortar and pestle, I tried my Cuisinart food processor, and then finally got the blender to work. So literally I have dirtied almost every single countertop appliance that I have in the kitchen. Second thing is allspice, 1/4 of a teaspoon. Well, who in the world has allspice unless you're baking lots of baked goods? It's pumpkin spice, so maybe in this climate everybody has some. But otherwise, I had some whole allspice and went through the same rigmarole. I literally just beat the devil out of this on a mortar and pestle. Finally just threw it in with the ground flaxseed. So, long story short, we're finally ready to put this 90-second mug cake together after 35 minutes of prep. It better be good. Ready? Let's do it. Okay, for some reason my camera keeps cutting out, as if it were not difficult enough. Okay, so 45 minutes later, let's try a mug cake that takes 90 seconds. Ready? Going in the microwave. Be back. Okay, while this is cooking, again, this took me a while to do. If you know of another way to do ground flaxseed that doesn't take forever and take every appliance in the kitchen, by all means let me know. I know you can probably buy it pre-ground, but the last time I did that, it tasted like fish because it went rancid in about a week because it is highly volatile, the flaxseed oil is. So unless you keep it refrigerated and tightly closed up, it's going to smell like fish. So I bought fresh whole flaxseed thinking, oh, I'll be able to just go. This, without the cream cheese frosting, is 1.5 net carbs. So I'm hopeful. It's exploding right now. Okay, so here we are. Here is our little carrot cake, precious as it may be. And it also is a very large serving. So let's dump it out and see what happens. Woohoo! Oh yeah, she's pretty. Let's flip her over. Oh, it's really dense, I'll say that. Here we go. Let's take a look at what we've got. We started with, okay, and I'm gonna just, I've said it before, I'm not gonna taste these with the frosting that 2 of them called for. I just can't do it, okay? But all of these will be delicious with just a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Throw it some in a bowl, a couple of tablespoons, whip it heavily with a whisk, throw in a little bit of stevia. I particularly like the Sweet Leafs English toffee sweetener. I use it in my coffee most mornings, but you can make cream cheese frosting out of these and no doubt it would be delicious. I just can't do it. For namely, as soon as this camera goes off, I have 4 cakes sitting in front of me. Low carb or not, That is not good for anyone, particularly someone with craving issues. So let's taste what we've got. Okay, so here we go. The first one, let's try them in the order we made them. This is the Keto Connect's low carb, what is it? Keto Connect's low carb delicious mug cake. And I've had it before and it's pretty good. And again, top it with a little bit of whipped cream or something and see how you like it. Delicious. Definitely taste of almond flour, as it should. Otherwise, it's a beautiful version of like a yellow cake, like a Duncan Hines yellow cake mix. Pretty darn close as we're gonna get. Let's try another one. I gotta get a glass of water, hold on. Whew. Okay, and now our second version is the one that I usually make. This is my quote unquote go-to, I guess you could say. And that is the chocolate cake. You can see how sizable that is. That's pretty nice. Chocolate cake, this is I Breathe, I'm Hungry low carb chocolate brownie cake. And this is delicious with the English toffee whipped cream on top, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a little dry without some sort of topping, honestly. Hard to deny though, that's pretty tasty. Texture wise, I probably prefer the other one, the Keto Connect bread. I mean, the Keto Connect cake was a little lighter, but I'm a chocolate fan, so I like the chocolate cake. Okay, so here's the two I haven't tried, and I'm very anxious to try. God, it's taking forever. So, let's do red velvet cake. It does not look like a traditional red velvet cake. In the beautiful pictures on the thing, they serve it in the mug, and they take a piping bag and pipe in some beautiful cream cheese frosting. Well, yeah, that's gonna be nice, and I probably would do that if I were serving company. But on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, when it's 9 o'clock and I just want something to eat, I'm not gonna worry with that. Again, not tasting it with the frosting. Let's see. Keto Diet App. Red velvet mug cake. Pretty good. It's 6.8 net carbs too. But granted, the serving is massive. So, you know, take that into account. But wow, that's pretty good. And lastly, the Queen of England's damn carrot cake. Oh, Lord, that took forever. Low carb carrot mug cake by Sugar-Free Mom. Granted, this was probably just my stupidity of not getting ground flaxseed to begin with, but I've dirtied the entire kitchen just to get this done. It's pretty, it looks very carroty, and carrot cake is one of my favorite cakes. Again, this would probably just be freaking rocking with some cream cheese icing on them. I'm not going to do it. Texture's nice. Looks good. Okay, let's see. I don't mean to be disparaging. I've had some very, very good food from Sugar-Free Mom. That is possibly the worst thing I've ever made on camera. In any of these videos, that is terrible. As I suspected, I can taste the weird fishiness of the flaxseed. It is very healthy, I know that. And I literally bought this from one of the most frequented stores in my town, and I bought, you know, a pound of whole flaxseed and ground them seconds before I cooked with them. I can't stand it. I would never eat that. That is terrible to me personally. If you make this and you like it, and Sugar-Free Mom, sweetie, I've had tons of stuff you've made, and it's all been fantastic. But for the work that I went through, y'all got to be crazy if you think I was going to make that again. Granted, it's got 1.5 grams of net carbs, but who cares if you don't want to eat it? So I hate to end on a negative note because this is such a fun thing and I love mug cakes. But you know what this just told me? Stick with what you like and what's tried and true. I love the chocolate brownie mug cake. I always have to look it up each time. Who is it by? I Breathe, I'm Hungry. That's good. That's good. Keto Connect, yours. The portion size was a little small, but I kind of appreciate that because it makes me think that I'm not just totally blowing things. And it was delicious too. Really, really good texture. Really good texture. Throw some whipped cream on that, English toffee whipped cream, some of those icings that they've made, I'd go for it. The red velvet cake, who was this by? I can never remember. Keto Diet App, this is probably my favorite of the group. Favorite of the group, look at that. It is pretty. That is beautiful. And the texture's great. The serving portion is really nice. That would look beautiful. That would look like something from a high dollar restaurant if you were to plate that with some mint and fresh whipped cream. Would look like $1 million, and it tastes like it too. So there you have it, folks. A couple of surprises and a little bit of disappointment. I was really hopeful for that for the carrot cake because carrot cake is one of my all-time favorites, as is red velvet, and it did as well. Yes. So there you have it. Mug cake melee, mug cake madness, mug cake battle, whatever we call it. Try it. Again, it's an easy way to contain portions and just eat a little something sweet. But I urge you, if you're just starting keto or low carb, these are not the recipes for you just yet. Wait until you get a couple of weeks, maybe a month into this so that the cravings have backed off. You know, some of this, when you go low carb and you go especially extremely low carb like keto, your sugar cravings just really plummet. You don't have those cravings unless you stimulate your psychology of what you remember as sweet stuff, and that's what these things do for me. So truthfully, like, I'm probably gonna have to pour salt on the top of all these to prevent myself from eating them after I close this camera off. So there you have it, folks. Again, I always appreciate you joining me. These videos are a way for me to maintain my low carb way of eating. I appreciate that you've come along for the journey, and I always appreciate hearing from you. So let me know in the comments down below another video, another recipe, another battle series that you'd like to see. Give this video a like or a thumbs up. If you're a subscriber, I ask that you hit the bell button down below by the subscribe button. That'll let you know as soon as I release a video, you'll get a notification of it. And if you're not a subscriber, join us. We do this all the time. Thanks so much. See you next time.